Hello out there, ladies and gentlemen. Teng'a here. On my last video in this topic, where I titled it Risen Demon Descendants Analogy, I think I went off on a tangent and it didn't really connect back to my main point. Sorry for keeping this spiritual, but it's just been a spiritual kind of thing going on for me, so I'm just going to go on and do what I got to do here. The thing about my theory on risen demons is kind of simple. It's simple to me, but I know it's probably complex to every one of you out there. So let me break it down to you very simply, as simply as I can. Okay, with all the help that angels and spirits turned into warrior spirits needed to watch over humanity, should the fact that some of those helpers were born with horns and leathery wings, as opposed to locks of hair, locks of golden hair, and feathery wings really matter if they have golden halos? To me, I say they do not. That shouldn't matter. The form should not matter nearly as much as the heart, the mind, the soul of that being. Now, a lot of people, I have checked through Yahoo Answers, Bing Answers, and a bunch of other associated, or should I say, similar sites. Do people believe in risen demons, or what are their thoughts on it? Now, what I've come to realize is, when I've come to talk about this, I recognize and accept that the first gen, those who fell, those angels whose wings got burned while another angel was kicking its six into hell, and perhaps through to the third or seventh generation, based on whatever the curse of that sin may be, maybe under a lockout, maybe under a rising lockout that was set in stone. But what is to stop that fourth or eighth generation and on from choosing to follow the path of light? In my humble opinion, or maybe not so humble, depending on how you take this video, sorry about that, those born after that lockout should be capable of breaking their chains to dark fates. While I will empirically state that after rising, they will never stop being sharks, as it were, they can and will swim with the dolphins, being the angels at all, who are guardians of human spirits and the spirits of any other creature out there who is also sentient and who needs protection from dark forces. Yes, those sharks and dolphins combining are there to protect us guppies, us the innocent, us the easy to prey upon from the other sharks in that spiritual ocean. With that in mind, I came to realize and think about this, that I wholeheartedly believe that those demons who choose to rise, who were born to bully innocence, will in turn become staunch guardians of those innocents after rising. And also, in this regard, they will then begin to bully other demons of equal or lesser strength away from the ones they're trying to guard. And likewise, whatever vice a risen demon was born to inflict or encourage us to indulge in will become a shield that blocks us from said vice. Now, it's a complicated theory, to be sure about that, but I can say it in a very short answer, short summated sentence here. That in short, a risen demon is a being born a sword that turns itself into a shield to protect us. I'm sorry about that. I was just minimizing my notes for this matter, for this video, from that which they did before. You know, it's very much like some of those cases where we've seen it in movies and it's been done in cartoons and so on, where someone with a dark source of power who was on their way to doing nothing but darkness finds something to turn themselves into the path of light. Now I'm standing here, sitting here, however you want to look at it. Know that it is very difficult to explain my theory to people. People understand it and grasp this, but to me, those risen demons, as I call them, will be the hardest thing to defeat. Will be the hardest to defeat, to beat, to repel guardians of us. For one reason, they've seen what they're doing to people, and they don't want to ever have it happen to them again, to innocence again. Now, it's kind of one of those situations where this is my personal philosophy on the matter, and I am not sure how various religions would take to me saying this. But I do know that this is where I wholeheartedly start to think along the Shinto, the Buddhist, and to a lesser extent the Hindu belief that we are not just defined, we're not defined and or limited by what nature we are born of. Like, let's take, for example, let's just give a couple examples as to what a living, a more contemporary version or relatable version, examples of this could be. Let's take, for example, someone who was born and raised in a family who was either a neo-Nazi or maybe a member of the Ku, the Triple K, let's put it that way, so I don't tongue tie myself. 1 second. Let's say what happens if someone born in this, born of a neo-Nazi or Triple K family, ends up meeting and actually seeing what would be asked of them to do as they grow up. What if that child, born of racism, determined, ends up defending people from his own kind, or should I say his or her own kind? That person, though born and raised to be racist, chooses not to be racist and chooses from that moment forward to do the exact opposite of being racist. Instead, chooses to be a creature, be a person who defends against racism. Now that's just a simple example that I can give you to Americans who, or people who understand America, as to my theory of this, or a very concrete, understandable version of this. And I apologize for that. I had no idea what was going to happen when I was started filming. Hmm. Now, I can sit here and give you 1,000 different examples of this, but I'm just going to say it simple like that. Or perhaps let us use today's more current examples. Let's say someone born and raised in a very radical Islamic society pledges to and gets trained and starts acting just as a member of ISIS would act, or any other affiliated group, ends up one day realizing just how screwed up their philosophy is, and decides to start protecting the Jewish, the Christian, and the pagans within his or her own area. That is what I call becoming a guardian demon in this world's sense, which is the same principle behind a risen demon, except spiritual world versus material world. Again, like my last video here, I'm not going to be plugging you for liking and subscribing to me through this video, because quite frankly, I feel that would be an insult to the purpose of this video. However, I will ask you to please comment down below as to your opinion on this video. Thank you, and I am out.